Welcome to another episode of Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More, Work Less. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking the Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why we do this is so that we better understand how our minds work, how we make decisions, how we could negotiate or build relationships better, and also to prevent ourselves and avoid certain situations where we may fall into a trap of a cognitive bias that we are exposed to every single day of our lives. So for today's theme and the topic of our cognitive bias, it is called the hard easy effect. Now, to introduce what that actually means, I'm going to ask you a few questions. The first question is, where exactly is the Great Wall of China located? Now, once you have your answer, rate your confidence level of how sure you are that answer is correct from 1 to 5, 5 being most confident. Now, the second question is, can the Pythagorean theorem help you solve the hypotenuse of a triangle? If you have your answer, rate your answer, your confidence level between 1 to 5, 5 being most confident. Now, I understand that lots of people out there have different education background, different experiences, different skill sets, different knowledge. So maybe both questions are easy and maybe both questions are hard. But the thing is, this study was done years ago, and it has shown that on average, let's say for the question, where exactly is the Great Wall of China located? Well, I actually put in the location of that wall already. It's in China. But most people would actually rate their confidence level lower in that question than they would actually rate in a tougher question like the Pythagorean theorem. And that is because us as human beings tend to actually be overconfident on things that are hard and a little bit underestimate our own confidence level when it comes to something that's actually easy. And the actual definition of the hard easy effect is the tendency to overestimate the probability of one success at a task that's perceived as hard and to underestimate the likelihood of one success at a task that's perceived to be very easy. Now, when we understand this concept, the thing is, it's very difficult for one of us to actually see this in somebody else or to detect it in somebody else. But we can actually detect it in ourselves and kind of get a grasp as to whether or not we are overconfident or underestimating something in ourselves when we think about something. Now, just think about a test that you've done. Notice how most of the questions that they put are actually easier at the beginning of the test and then more difficult as you keep on going into the test or even the survey or questionnaire. And that is kind of designed because of the hard easy effect. Most of us are more anxious, more nervous, and more unconfident when we start off taking a test. And therefore, when the easier questions are there, we kind of start doubting ourselves a little bit more. For instance, the question, where exactly is the Great Wall of China located? You start to sit there and look at the question and go, wait a minute. It's actually written right there. Is this a trick question? Is there something I'm not really sure of? And you start doubting yourself that something that you're absolutely sure of, that you start underestimating your confidence level as to whether that answer is correct or not. And the thing is, as you start doing more and more easy questions, you gain that confidence. You feel better and better that you know your answers are correct. And then comes the harder questions. Then when the harder questions come about, you sit there and go, you know what? I got all the past ones correct and I feel good. Now you start having that confidence. Now you start becoming a little bit overconfident on stuff that you may or may not think for sure is correct. And that's why some of the harder questions are at the back. Now you think about some of the game shows that you've seen on TV, for instance, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That's exactly how it's done. People are more overconfident when it comes to the harder questions. And that's why that show works so well, because they know this cognitive bias. And they also know that when they put easier questions at front, people are more nervous and more underconfident when it comes to those questions, and hence they still might get those questions wrong because they start doubting themselves, even though if it's an actual easy question to answer. And lots of these tests and studies have been done, and sure enough, most people do rank their confidence level lower when it comes to easier questions. So the thing is, this happens to us all the time. When you think about, oh, How hard can that sport be? It seems to be very easy to play. You're oversimplifying something that could be very difficult to do or very difficult to play. At the same time, sometimes we go, wow, going up on stage and speaking, that's very hard. And we're underestimating the simplicity of certain things, and we may or may not be willing to go and achieve those certain goals. Now, of course, this is very biased to that certain individual. It's kind of very personal to yourself. So you have to be able to see, are you actually underestimating or overestimating your confidence level and how difficult something may or may not be. So that's how we actually are able to prevent ourselves from falling in this trap. We need to first detect whether or not we're overconfident or underconfident about an answer or a task and how difficult that task is or how easy that task is before we actually pursue. So make that decision, take a step back, think about it again before you actually go on and confirm that answer or go out and take that action. So if you like this episode on hard, easy effect on cognitive biases on the Unlocking Your Mind show, then please like, subscribe, and also tune into all our other episodes. And of course, we have our other shows, the Mastermind Bites, and also the Make More Mind Bites and the Peak Potential Success Show. Please like, subscribe, and share. I love looking at your comments. So until next time, today is the day to unlock your potential. We'll see you later.